Hey everyone, it is Dylan.
And it's Megan.
We're out here tonight enjoying some peace and quiet. Bonfire on a fall night. But we wanted to take the time to speak with everyone about our week and how it has played out. I do want to go ahead and mention we're going to put a disclaimer in here for those viewers that are watching, that it may be sensitive and not something you may consider watching.
We're going to talk about animal loss. So if that is something that triggers you, you might not want to watch this video. We're not going to show anything graphic or anything, but just sharing what happened. And then I have a little bit of footage of, kind of in that season of the week that we've had.
Yes. So Tuesday, I got home from work around 7 o'clock, 7:30, and I usually, I have seen the goats. They'll greet you every time you come up the driveway. They're excited to see you, and that wasn't the case. I ended up instantly worrying, felt something was not right, and so I ended up going to our little gate that we have around side on the other side of our barn, and when I got inside, my heart sank. My inner feelings came out from the scene that I saw, and what I saw
we had already lost Dorothy, and Gypsy was still hanging in with us,
and our other goat, Mernantha, was not there. But later on, after we found some parts of her outside of the fence, and I tried to locate her for several hours, try to find her, and we could not. We were unsuccessful.
He called our friend that works with the DNR office. He's not too far from us because, we didn't know what happened. And we live out here in the woods. And so our friend came rather quickly. Since moving, we've created beautiful friendships. And one of those friends is my good friend Leah. And they've had goats for a really long time. And I called her as soon as he called me and told me. And I rushed down. And they were here within minutes. And she helped with Gypsy, and we called the police, and the police came, and the police officer was just, shook. He has goats himself, and he has a family, and, just trying to piece everything together. I mean, it's like a crime scene, and you're just trying to figure out what happened and how it could happen.
And it just... the experience for us on our homestead, having goats here for the first time, is what really hit me the hardest. Our girls, as they've been called, goaties, have been a huge part of our lives. And raising them, bottle feeding them, just creating that emotional love and bond that you have with your kids,
Yeah, I joked that they were my other set of kids, literally.
And that for me was the hardest thing. Emotionally was grasping, what had happened. And we this week have been there for each other, our kids. We've had unbelievable support system with our friends and our family that have reached out to us, and I just want to thank them from my heart, because anyone that understands what it's like to lose something, or when you love something in general, you really don't realize how much you love it until it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's just what we've been going through this week. And
so yeah, so when he found Gypsy, and Leah and JR, her husband, came, we applied pressure to her wounds, and when the police department told us that we could take her, we brought her up to the house and we made her comfortable. Whenever you have animals in that situation, you have to decide, are you going to call it and euthanize that animal, or are you going to take care of them and try to, help them get better? And so some of the factors that helped us choose that decision was we had a stethoscope, and so we listened to her lungs and we listened to her heart, and we kind of assessed the damage that she had, and we really thought that she was going to be okay. And so it's like an hour by hour thing. And so that was Tuesday. She made it Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And Wednesday was such a beautiful day with her. Her little personality showed up so much. And the kids would come in and love on her and check on her. Little Evelyn would come running in, and Gypsy's little face, she'd just be searching for her. She'd hear her, and her little ears would come up, and she'd lift her head and would look for Evelyn. And when she saw her, she was just so happy. When you ask Evelyn, what's a goat say? She makes the sound, and she kept doing that to Gypsy. And Leah and I were sitting there with coffee, and we had bagels, blueberry bagels, and Leah laughed and said, you think Gypsy wants a bagel? And wafted it in front of her little face, and goats, they're and so Gypsy made that, and she was so excited about it, and we just laughed, and it was just so beautiful. It was such a memorable moment. And she was drinking, and she was eating, and she was improving, and we shaved her, and we cleaned her up and assessed all of her wounds, and she made it through Wednesday night. And Thursday morning, after Dylan had to go to work, he took off Wednesday, she turned. And she passed away in my arms. And I just kept telling her how much we loved her. And how sorry we were that, such a thing happened. And I had the stethoscope, and I was listening to her, because I could tell, something had changed. And I heard her heart stop. And I was on the phone with Leah. I was crying, and she told me, the steps to do CPR on a goat. And I started doing it, and I said, no, I can't. And we let her go. And so Leah and JR came in the morning. Within probably 30 minutes of that happening. And I walked down to the end of the driveway to open the gate, and I just was asking God, how could this happen? Why? Why would this happen? And I heard him say, my loving commitment never ends. That my faithfulness is renewed every morning. And I watched the sun just peek over the tree line, and it was pink and orange. and such beautiful. Which it's that verse, it's Lamentations 3. And how he is faithful and how he is good. And in the heartbreak, in the hardness of this week, there have been so many blessings. And so many beautiful people have reached out and shared. And she's doing really well. She's in the tub. She has wounds. But I'm just continuously keeping an eye on her. I'll let you check her out. This big, it's almost like a garden tub, but these are cushions from outside. And we have her, so she's got her stomach underneath of her and that she's upright. But she's got bandages all over her neck. I have a towel, and this is an electric blanket to help keep her warm and to keep her from going into shock. But I just keep loving on her and keep talking to her. Hi, my love. Good job. Take a little bit more. Good job, my sweet girl. We got this. Oh, we got this. It is a little after 3. She's still hanging in there. Sounds like she's snoring. She keeps having moments where like I would say like fear, pain kind of sets in. She tries to stand up, and so she scrambles with her feet. And so I just kind of reposition the cushions and get her all tucked back in. Love on her, talk to her, and pray over her. Every hour that goes by, I'm more hopeful that she'll be okay. I have this electric blanket that I keep adjusting the temperature to or taking it off of her. She did go to the bathroom earlier, so that was exciting. I just kind of keep listening with the stethoscope to her lungs, to her heart. Everything, she sounds okay. I'm hopeful. Good morning. So it is almost 10, and Miss Gypsy here is still hanging in with us. She has gone to the bathroom multiple times. So she's peed and she's pooped. She's sucking down Gatorade, and she's alert. She's moving her ears, and like this eye over here is hurt, but this eye she'll open and like be watchful, and she'll respond when you talk to her. So all of these things are good signs. We're gonna try to clean her wounds more today. Yesterday it was more of trying to get them to clot and get the bleeding to stop. So today we're gonna try to shave her wounds and get them good and clean, and try to make her more comfortable in that aspect. But it was a long night. And she's still with us. So, when it comes down to what really happened, we didn't have trail cameras down there, so we don't have anything like on camera. But I've talked to some of the neighbors in the area, and everybody has a kind of an idea as to what happened. And Dylan saw them on our property after the event occurred. And we believe it was the neighbor's pit bulls. And so we have addressed it in every legal way possible. But from what we have been told, without any video or picture evidence, there's nothing really we can do.
And that for me, because I'm not one to give up, I tried other paths to try to, make
amends for our girls.
Amends for our girls, and to find justice, to do what was right, like anybody would do. But unfortunately, we hit a wall, and we were not able to prove what we hoped would result in the outcome that we longed for. But
the one thing that has been constant the whole week is God's peace. I describe it like a shawl that I can feel on my shoulders. And what's been laid on my heart is to forgive. To still be watchful and mindful. But to show forgiveness. And to extend love. And it is hard. But it is what we are told to do.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of where we're standing at the moment. And trusting. Other things have happened this week that have just been beautiful, that have brought laughter and joy to our homestead. As we are in this season of grief, the one thing that I always say is, seek the blessings. Seek them, even if they're small, even if it's just the sunshine on your face in the morning. It's a blessing.
And just this experience this week that we have been through, it's brought us closer as a family. Not only, it's helped teach us how strong our love for not only our homestead is, but also, why we do what we do, to each and every day get up with a positive energy to do what we love. And me personally, I'm not one that gives up. And I've collected my strength, and I've tried to tell myself after this happened, don't give up. There's always another door that will open up. And I just I have to be thankful and, give the Lord continuous praise. We, and I have to honor, the memories that we had with them.
Yeah.
And cherish them. But, never forget, our love that we have for our homestead and our animals.
Our animals, yeah.
And that, as a father, as a parent, that's what brings me closer to not only with the Lord, but, as a family, it is what I enjoy, with homesteading, and I get to share that with people, and it just helps me grow stronger with this experience. And
yeah, it's definitely been every homesteader's worst nightmare. But it's also been a learning experience, sadly. And I mean, no words can describe the sorrow and the grief that we have this week and just continue to have. You know, every time we come up the driveway, the girls aren't there. Every time we hear those dogs bark, it is hard. But God is faithful, and there are new things coming, and there are new things ahead. And He is already providing, and He is already showing up.
We know, they're looking down on us, and as much as we miss them, we know that they're in a better place.
Yeah.
But this is not.
It's not the end of our story.
It's not the end of our story. Exactly.
Yeah. So we want to thank you for joining us this evening in the quiet and in our grief and in our openness with you guys. So.
And again, giving thanks to all the support network that we've had, our friends, our family.
Yeah.
Without them, we don't know where we would be.
Be a rough road.
And that's what keeps us going each and every day. It gets us through. And we know God has a plan, and we trust in that, in our faith and our beliefs. And we love Him so much for that.
Yeah, where He is faithful. He is faithful. So, I just want to say thank you for joining us here at the Wolterman Homestead.
We love everyone.
Take care.
God bless.
Bye, guys.